Hello viewers, good morning. I am Sukhvir Yadav, faculty in Mechanical Engineering Department at Government Polytechnic, Lisana, Rewari. Today we will be discussing about heat treatment processes under Material Science and Metallurgy subject. This is the first process, annealing. Annealing involves heating the material to a predetermined temperature and hold the material at the temperature and cool the material to the room temperature slowly. The process involves heating of material at the elevated temperature or predetermined temperature, holding the material at that temperature for longer time, very slowly cooling the material to the room temperature. These are three things very important. In our last video, we have discussed about the process of heat treatment. Similar process is applied in annealing case. It is the first type of annealing process of heat treatment process, annealing. The same process is applied, सेम चीज़ वही चीज़ इसमें अप्लाई की गई है. सबसे पहले हम मटेरियल को गर्म करते हैं, मेटल को गर्म करते हैं, उसके बाद सोकिंग टाइम पीरियड के लिए कुछ टाइम के लिए रखते हैं उसके बाद उसको धीरे धीरे हम ठंडा करते हैं. इस प्रोसेस में सबसे ज़रूरी बात जो ध्यान देने वाली बात है वो है कूलिंग टाइम. इसमें मटेरियल को या मेटल को हम बहुत स्लोली उसको कूल करते हैं. एनीलिंग के अंदर द वेरियस पर्पज ऑफ दीज हीट ट्रीटमेंट इज टू relieve internal stresses developed during solidification, machining, forging, rolling or welding. These are primary processes which are used to manufacture any component like machining, forging, rolling or welding. We are giving shape to the component. While we are doing this process, the internal stresses or residual stresses developed इन दी मटेरियल, जिनको रिलीव करने के लिए, जिनको हटाने के लिए, जिनको रिमूव करने के लिए वी नीड टू अप्लाई हीट ट्रीटमेंट प्रोसेस. अनदर एडवांटेज, अनदर important function of the heat treatment process is that it improves restore ductility and toughness in the material. It enhances machinability. It eliminates chemical non-uniformity. It refines grain structure. It reduces the gaseous contents in the steel or the metal. This is the triple T diagram, very well known as a time temperature transformation diagram. Very important diagram. With the help of this diagram, we can easily understand the transformation of various structure during cooling of the metal. During cooling process, जो structure हमें मिलती हैं उन सब के बारे में हम यहाँ से पता कर सकते हैं. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट डायग्राम है, आप सबको इसको बार बार देखना है, जब तक समझ ना आ जाए आपको इसको समझना है. सबसे पहले इनिशियल फेज में आप देखिए हमारा जो मटेरियल है उसको अगर हम 700 डिग्री से ऊपर गर्म करते हैं तो टू लाइन्स है A1 एंड A3. अबव A3 लाइन वी गॉट ऑस्टेनाइट गामा आयरन. जस्ट वी कैन से द गामा फेज ऑफ द मटेरियल वी गॉट फ्रॉम दिस. While we are cooling, जब इसको हम ठंडा करते हैं, then we receive pearlite formation is there, pearlite structure is there, benite structure is there, then martensite structure is there. तो ये सारी स्ट्रक्चर को स्टडी करने के लिए हमें इसको बड़े ध्यान से देखना होता है, समझना होता है. ट्रिपल टी डायग्राम इज ए प्लॉट ऑफ टेम्परेचर वर्सेस टाइम. It is a graph which is plotted between time and temperature. That's why its name is time temperature. Third term is transformation. Transformation of structure while we are cooling the material after heating and soaking period. It is used to determine when transformation begins and ends for an isothermal heat treatment of a previously austenized alloy. जैसा मैंने बताया था, इससे आपको शुरुआत कहाँ से होती है डिकम्पोजिशन की और लास्ट ख़त्म कहाँ पे होता है वो हम इससे इजीली हम पता कर सकते हैं. जैसे शुरुआत में हमें ऑस्टेनाइज्ड स्ट्रक्चर मिलती है while heating the material above 750-760 degree temperature. Then we got pearlite structure. After cooling it, below 700 degree centigrade. Then we got pearlite benite structure after cooling it about 500 degree centigrade. Then we got martensite structure. This is the structure formation start and this is finish. तो इसके बाद हमें इसके अंदर मार्टेनसाइट स्ट्रक्चर मिल जाएगा. तो शुरुआत और कहाँ ख़त्म होती है, इसके बीच में कितने ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आते हैं, वो सब हम इससे जान सकते हैं. ट्रिपल टी डायग्राम indicates when a specific transformation starts and ends, and it also shows what percentage of transformation of austenite at a particular temperature is achieved. Again for triple T, again in triple T diagram, what is there? Depending on the type of heat treatment, time and temperature, final microstructure of steel or any iron carbon will be changed, and so does the प्रॉपर्टी. जैसे ही उसकी स्ट्रक्चर चेंज होगी किसी मटेरियल की, उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज भी चेंज हो जाएंगी. अब यहाँ इस फिगर से आप देखिए, जैसे जैसे हम स्पेरोडाइट, कोर्स पियरलाइट, फाइन पियरलाइट, बेनाइट, मार्टेनसाइट, टी मार्टेनसाइट और मार्टेनसाइट, जैसे जैसे हम नीचे से ऊपर की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं तो मार्टेनसाइट में हमें हार्डर स्ट्रक्चर मिलती है, जिसकी स्ट्रेंथ सबसे ज़्यादा होती है अमंग ऑल दीज स्ट्रक्चर्स. बट एट द सेम टाइम डक्टिलिटी गोज डाउन. डक्टिलिटी हमेशा उस टाइम कम होती चली जाएगी जैसे ही हमारी स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ेगी, उस मटेरियल की डक्टिलिटी हमारी कम होती चली जाएगी. ऐसा आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, टेम्परेचर के साथ उसके टाइम के साथ कैसे कैसे ऑस्टेनाइट, एनीलिंग, नॉर्मलाइजिंग, स्फेरोडाइजिंग और जो प्रोसेस हम चेंज करते हैं वो कैसे काम कर रही हैं. दिस इज द डायग्राम जहाँ पे हम ये पता लगा सकते हैं कि हमारे पास ऑस्टेनाइट स्ट्रक्चर हमें कहाँ मिल रही है, पियरलाइट स्ट्रक्चर हमें कहाँ मिल रही है. दिस इज द केस व्हेन वी आर टेकिंग 0.8% कार्बन कंपोजिशन. दिस इज द केस व्हेन वी आर टेकिंग 0.8% carbon composition. At this stage we got austenite structure at this stage, pearlite at this temperature, then benite and then martensite. Martensite structure starts होते हैं यहाँ पे इस लाइन के ऊपर, और जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ती चली जाएगी स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्मेशन इसकी इंप्रूव होती चली जाएगी और हमें कंप्लीट मार्टेनसाइट यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. Now heat treatment. Heat treatment is a group of industrial and metal working processes used to alter the physical and sometimes chemical properties of a material. Very well said. The most common application in metallurgical, it is the most heat treatment process is generally used in metallurgical processes. Heat treatment involves the use of heating or chilling, normally to extreme temperatures, to achieve a desired result such as hardening or softening of a material. These are certain techniques that we use for heat treatment: annealing, case hardening, precipitation strengthening, tempering and quenching. We have in our last video we have discussed about quenching, and annealing we have discussed already. Then we will discuss some of the processes which we have not covered in our video. Annealing. Annealing के अंदर जो पहला पार्ट है उसका वो है process annealing. In this treatment, steel is heated to a temperature below the lower critical temperature and is held at this temperature for sufficient time and then cooled. Cooling rate is of little importance as the process is being done at subcritical temperatures. The purpose of this treatment is to reduce hardness and to increase ductility of cold work steel so that further working may be carried easily. In this graph, in this graph, we can easily understand the temperature range of full annealing process is this range. Process annealing process of range is this. This is below critical temperature. Below this line, it is the region of process annealing. Another type of annealing is stress relieving. This is the another type of annealing process. The basic purpose, as the name indicates, is basic purpose is to relieve the stresses or residual stresses. As the name suggests, this process is employed to relieve internal stresses. No microstructural changes occur during the process. Internal stresses are those stresses which can exist within a body in the absence of external forces. These are also known as residual stresses or locked-in stresses. These stresses are developed in operation like solidification of the casting, welding, machining, grinding, shoot peening, surface hammering, cold working, case hardening, electroplated coatings, precipitation and phase transformation. These are certain processes during which residual stresses develops. To remove these stresses, we apply annealing stress relieving process. Very important process, very effective process for removing the developed stresses. Again, these internal stresses under certain condition can have adverse effects. As we know, whenever stress is maintained or is present in any body part of a component, then it may cause very bad effect. It can put bad effect on the material structure. Material may be cracked or may be corrosive or maybe some other defect may also occur if we do not remove these stresses. Steel with residual stresses under corrosive environment fail with stress corrosion cracking, as we have discussed earlier. These stresses also enhance the tendency of steel towards rapage and dimensional instability. So in order to improve dimensional stability, we need to reduce or we need to eliminate the stresses developed during the various processes that we have discussed in the last slide. Fatigue strength is reduced considerably when residual tensile stresses are present in steel. The problems associated with internal stresses are more difficult in brittle material than in ductile materials. Now it is normalizing. Normalizing is similar to full annealing, except steel is generally cooled in still air. Normalizing consists of heating steel about 40 to 55 degrees centigrade above critical temperature. AC3 line is there, this line is there. This is for normalizing process. In this process, what we do, we heat up our material about 40 to 55 degrees centigrade above this critical line, AC3 line or ACCM line. This is ACCM line for normalizing range. This totally meant for normalizing process. And holding for proper time, and then cooling in still air or slightly agitated air to room temperature. In special cases, cooling rates can be controlled by either changing air temperature और air volume. एनीलिंग के अंदर ही नॉर्मलाइजिंग में जो हमें बेनिफिट मिलते हैं, इसके जो एडवांटेजेस हैं या जिस चीज़ के लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं वो हैं टू रिफाइन ग्रेन स्ट्रक्चर, टू ऑब्टेन यूनिफॉर्म स्ट्रक्चर, टू डिक्रीज रेजिडुअल स्ट्रेसेस, टू इम्प्रूव machinability. These are certain objectives that we achieve for normalizing process. Hardening and hardness are two very different things. One is a process of heat treatment, other is a extrinsic property of a material. Hardening is the process and hardness is the property of the material. Hardening is a heat treatment process in which steel is rapidly cooled from austenizing temperature that we have seen in our last slide, that austenite temperature is above more than 750, 760, 768 that we achieve. As a result of hardening, the hardness and wear resistance of steel are improved. Hardening treatment generally consists of heating to hardening temperature, holding at that temperature, followed by rapid cooling such as quenching in oil or water or salt bath. तो हार्डनिंग प्रोसेस के अंदर सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ क्या है, आप जब उसको कूल करते हो तो कूलिंग शुड बी रैपिड वन, otherwise we will get some other structure. If you want to get harder structure, then we have to cool it rapidly. The hardness developed by this process is due to phase transformation accompanying rapid cooling. Rapid cooling results in the transformation of austenite at considerably low temperature into non-equilibrium products. The stable structure does not occur during hardening process. What we are getting, if we are doing rapid cooling of our material after heating, then we are getting austenite stage 2 directly martensite structure. There is no time to change this transformation for perlite and bainite. So there is no stability of these structures in our product while we are doing hardening at a rapid rate. The hardening temperature depends on chemical composition. For plain carbon steel, it depends on carbon content alone. Hypoeutectoid steels are heated to about 30 to 50 degrees centigrade above the upper critical temperature, whereas eutectoid and hypereutectoid steels are heated to about 30 to 50 degrees centigrade above lower critical temperature. Very important point, very important line. Please read it 2 to 3 times if you are not getting it. Ferrite and perlite transformation to austenite at hardening temperature for hypoeutectoid steel. This austenite transforms to martensite on rapid quenching from hardening temperature. The presence of martensite accounts for high hardness of quenched steel, as we have discussed earlier. Tempering. Hardened steels are so brittle that even a small impact will cause fracture. So toughness of such a steel can be improved by tempering. However, there is small reduction in strength and hardness. So tempering process is always followed after hardness, because after hardness we got a brittle structure which is very hard in nature. So small impact can cause it fracture. So in order to reduce such a brittleness from the material, will follow tempering process after hardening. Tempering is a subcritical heat treatment process used to improve the toughness of the hardened steel. Tempering consists of reheating of hardened steel to a temperature below lower critical temperature and is below that A1 line. We will again reheat the material hardened steel below its A1 line, below its lower critical temperature, and held there for a period of time and then slowly cooled in air to room temperature. Tempering. At tempering temperature, carbon atoms diffuses out and form fine cementite and softer ferrite structure left behind. Thus, the structure of tempered steel consists of ferrite and fine cementite. As shown in figure, this is toughened microstructure and this is tempered microstructure. Thus, tempering allows to precipitate carbon as a very fine carbide and allow the microstructure to return to BCC, body centered cubic. The temperatures are related to function of parts. Cutting tools are tempered between 230 to 300 degree centigrade. Very important point. If greater ductility and toughness are desired, as in case of shafts and high strength bolts, the steel is tempered in the range of 300 to 600 degree centigrade. This is what we got after tempering colors of steel. This is the normalized, this is quenched, this is one when we heat it about 350 Fahrenheit. This is the color when we got it at 400 Fahrenheit. This is at 440. This is at 500. The color is changing. As we see, the color is changing as the temperature increases. And this is the maximum 540. Again 590. This is 5650 and 730 degree Fahrenheit. As we know, as we see from the figure, that When we increase the temperature of steel, its color changes. Temperature changes are usually identified by their colors. Tempering temperatures for tools and shafts along with temper colors. Depending on temperatures, tempering process can be classified as low temperature tempering, medium temperature tempering, high temperature tempering. In low temperature tempering, the range of temperature is 150 to 250 degrees centigrade. In medium, it is 350 to 450 degrees centigrade, and it is in high temperature tempering, it is around 500 to 650 degree centigrade. Thank you so much for watching it. Rest of the surface hardening processes will be discussed in our next video.